want things that can dive. What does Elise do the best? She dives towers so effectively. Together with Leona, the amount of CC is insane.
And how do you play around that dragon? You create picks with the Leona, does act in a way as a single target CC champion, just like the Blitzcrank does. And one thing is, the other champion that Gorilla's been spamming in solo queue, which surprised me alongside Tom Gedge, tons of Leona games here in Europe. So definitely, he's showing a bit of his hand before going into the quarters.
You need wave clear if you're playing gaming, so Victor is correct in the mid lane. But this comp, I mean, when you see a Mordekaiser and a Darius, you normally say, okay, we need to be able to kite them. Because Mordekaiser in the late game, as a melee champion, it becomes very difficult for him to get that 3 hits on his Q. One-shot that AD carry, so you kite him and you kite him. You still gotta get past the early game. Now, Pain Gaming has drafted a comp where there's some elements of hard engage from Alessandro Gragas, but you do not want to dive onto the Mordekaiser. He wants you to do that.
To me, this just reeks of their last game. We take a look at their composition in the last one, and there's a little bit of a mixed message being sent here by the composition, and I have to say it's going to be probably very tough for them to handle KOO's comp.
Well, laning phase, all important. RTT himself talked about the early game strengths of Pain Gaming. KOO showed no weakness in their early game against CLG. And we're going to see Mordekaiser again here in the World Championships. This time paired with Leona. It's not the Blitzcrank kill lane. This is the go
Close
forward.
Enough.
This is the go forward kill lane
with
Leona.
Leona is close enough. Again, it's all about perma-pushing with double relic shield, set up tower dives with the Elise coming down, and then you can take the dragon, you move into lane where he is already pushing, and that's a free mid tower.
Wow, it sounds so easy. KOO already showed how easy it is for them to execute high-quality strategies a moment ago. And now we're going to see if they can close out Pain Gaming. Remember what is on the line. If KOO Tigers win this matchup, they guarantee themselves a flight to London and a spot in the quarterfinals. Seeding to be determined. But for Pain Gaming, if they lose, they are flying back to Brazil. Everything is on the line for them. For Pain, they need to win this, and they need KOO to lose more games today for them to stand a chance, or rather, CLG and Flash Wolves to lose.
And it seems to me that Pain Gaming, instead of saying we will pick a lane that can kill the Mordekaiser, they're picking a lane and a composition that can be fairly difficult to dive. Braum is in there, and then TP Lissandro, who can join in with the mass amount of CC. We might see just a big party in the bottom lane. Victor will not be able to follow, though, really for himself.
My main issue with the Braum pick here is there really isn't anything that Unbreakable is going to block. You know, that it's not really a very useful ability against what KOO Tigers have on the table. So Braum, I feel, is really not an ideal pick in this scenario.
Denied it from Gorilla.
Yes, that was it, basically. But it has been the comfort pick for Pain. In almost every game, they will early pick that Braum for Dude down in the bottom lane. So it seems to me him just saying, you know, I need this pick right here. I don't want to try and risk running a lane where we have to kill them. Crowd can always entertain themselves.
The French crowd is always entertaining. A lot of help from the French casters. Even chanting Pain Game, just a heads up, it's BRTT that did pause with some graphic settings he wanted to fiddle with. He will be back in game very, very shortly.
Very concerning if the screen is already gray now.
It was
just
early game that Pain got an advantage the last time they faced KOO, which dragged the match out. They will not find themselves a target yet, but Pain is fully committed to this invade.
We've seen that about Pain, right? Is that they do have those good early lane swaps. They've been able to make some plays on the map. They seem to understand how to take small advantages in the early game, but when it comes to the jazz part of the game,
they're gonna kill the ward.
But when it comes to the jazz part of the game where you have to go off the sheet music and make it up as you go along, that's where it's not so good.
Oh, they got 2? Actually, I don't think I've ever seen 2 wards killed in that shorter space of time.
Smart little adaptation.
So we had the record shortest game, the record longest game, and now the record number of ward kills before 90 seconds.
Beautiful. Record number of wards by 2 players. Put it there.
Nice.
I'm pretty sure that that's an accurate statistic.
Well, denies the information, so Pain Gaming now either have to guesstimate.
I mean, it's very clear what KOO Tigers is like, guys, let's get standard lanes, and let's just push it into the tower. So it's very smart, they're sitting there waiting, denying it, so now Pain Gaming has to make the guess, and it will be standard lane. So Darius also gets his lane up top. Obviously not ideal, Sandra is a very good matchup into these melee champions, but we're gonna have to see Milo make plays on the bottom side of the map.
French crowd is still going, just for the record. Wave is never ending. Gromp is picked up there by Dude and BRTT. The Krugs were started by Prey and Gorilla.
That was a mistake. Dude got the last hit on the Gromp.
Not giving that XP to BRTT. Just taking a look at the summoner spells. Cleanse for Kami in the mid lane. Flash Exhaust for Prey's Mordekaiser. Kami taking a lot of trades from those Sand Soldiers.
And on bottom lane, BRTT used his sprint. One tick too early. They will still get a good trade on the Gorilla with the level 2 support, but the problem is now the BRTT obviously is going to be slightly behind in experience, especially because Mordekaiser has this weird passive where he just gets full experience in a 2v2 lane. Kind of unfair.
Very unfair, in fact. I wouldn't call it weird. I would say imbalanced would be the word I would use for it. But there you go. Permanent ban, except for right now, we're seeing it in this game.
All right, let's see what Prey can do with it. Mordekaiser got a couple of wins under his belt. Kami is continually being chunked down. Kuro showing he can play Azir, and it is a very real threat.
This matchup has shifted a little bit after some of their early game nerfs that came in to Victor especially. So it's a little bit easier for the Azir to trade with him in the start, keep shoving in the wave, and then Victor has to get that upgrade and start insta wave thing back. But a big dragon is going to appear, and he does not care about Victor's laser.
Well, last time our H2K ran it, Defisha, you didn't shut up about that dragon.
Because
we may have to rein it back in. We may have to rein you back in.
To be fair, H2K did not use the Mordekaiser that effectively.
No, they didn't, because that was one of the big things. With the Mordekaiser Dragon, you don't want to be attacking the turret. You want to be pushing the dragon next to the turret and auto-attacking their wave clear with the dragon to push them off the objective and just use that zone to push down the turret with the rest of your champions. So it was a bit of a misplay right there. That is how you play more right now.
Let's find out if KOO can rally themselves up under a little bit of pressure from BRTT and Dude shoving them in. Up in this top lane, Mylon. Lissandra, the soft or quasi-counter to Darius. And we'll see how effective he is. Again, Kami just coming away worse for Wade in these trades. He's gone through all of his consumables as well.
The problem for him in the lane is always keeping even at the top. So keeping even in farm for now. But has to go back and let's see. It's going to be a 2v2 or 2v1 top.
Beautiful apprehend into Cocoon, and it's just so simple. Smeb even gets the kill. 2 games in a row with Darius first play.
Yeah, you see Hojin right there using that repel, but realizing that the bleed from Darius is going to stop it. Here's some more fighting in the bottom side.
Dude's in trouble. The pop from Prey not going to come down. BRTT and Dude forced to back away. Look at how advantageous that trade was. Kuro again shoving Kami out.
So no surprise the KOO Tigers are winning the bottom lane against the Braum. Kalista in there. We see the trades happening, but mid lane being won by KOO Tigers and now the top lane as well. All across the board they are just winning the lanes. 600
gold already in the advantage. Prey and Gorilla just continuing shoving up with that Harvesters of Sorrow. Level 5 on Prey. And we can see some deep vision placed for Hojin. Kami is in a little bit of trouble. Look at the ward around the wolf camp. Hojin and KOO may set themselves up for an early dragon if they can force pain away.
But look at what happens on the map now. When you have so many winning lanes, especially 2 lanes next to each other, this situation mid and bot lane, how easy it is for your jungler to just walk into the enemy jungle, set up a bit of deep ward, take away a camp, maybe smite the walls to get more vision. Smep on the top side. He has some flash ready.
Well, they need it, but Mylon actually used that Ring of Frost much earlier on, so no follow-up CC from the body slam. Surtees going to be forced to back away. Mylon just throwing out those ice shards, trying to keep Smep away.
Even though the Darius, of course, does have that limited mobility at the top side, he already has boots too, so he's pretty damn speedy at this point in time and easily able to run away from that gank attempt. And I mean, right now, KOO just waiting, just farming up. It's all about that dragon, how well they can play around it in the next few minutes.
Go back, get your components towards the Rylai's, keep engaging with Leonic, because then W gets connected, and you cannot trade with that. Braum has to just back away. He's too low damage of his support. You need double range to poke out that Mordekaiser and also push it back. That's the key thing. One thing BRTT can do is go Hurricane first, just to try and counter the wave clear coming in, like how fast Mordekaiser can push it back, but his damage with it is just not going to be that great.
The problem is while that counters the wave clear, it doesn't offer really anything for the team fights that have to be happening around the dragon, because if he's using Hurricane, he has to hit multiple targets, and Have to back off the turret right here. And if he hits multiple targets, he's in range of Leona, he's dead.
Yeah, Children of the Grave is available for Prey. Gorilla looking for the dive, getting closer to level 6. The Solar Flare, which is not going to connect with the Cocoon this time around, but Mylon's going to back away.
And I like what Hojin is doing because he knows he doesn't want to dive this early on in the game against a 2v2 lane. So he just keeps getting Smeb ahead because what's going to happen then is Smeb with his advantage, he's going to take it and bring it to the bottom lane as well with teleport. And suddenly you have a 4-man squad down there for KOO Tigers that's basically unkillable because they've been winning the lane so much. And then you can start setting up the dives and then you take the dragon and then you start going for it.
And I like the addition of Azir with this Mordekaiser. It's going to make taking towers so much easier. That'll rise with the W, use the soldiers and the dragon to zone everybody away and counterbalance some of the weaknesses of multi-melee carries. And it's just all KOO Tigers. We're 8 minutes in and they've already got themselves CS advantages on every lane, really. And a gold lead thanks to First Blood.
Well, and their farm advantage too, right? Smeb's been doing a great job of holding his own in that top side, turning it in, turning the First Blood into an even greater lead. And here it goes again.
Ooh. Just out of range for that apprehend.
The CPITT goes for Cutlass first, so he wants to sustain, he wants more single target damage. Again, the problem is, if you cannot push back the wave, you will be stuck under your tower, and then it's no longer 2v2 lanes. It will be 2v3, 2v4, maybe even 2v5 if KOO wants to join in and have some fun. And that's where it starts becoming a big, big problem for this Kalista Brawl. So,
or you just take Dragon for free, too. You don't even have to dive at that point.
Do that, you push it in, poke them down, kill 13.
Surtees in so much trouble. He flashes away, followed by the repel. He's going to get him the body slam. Gets caught out, and it's actually one lost auto attack that secures it. The Glacial Fissure has come down, but it's in fact Prey that's got himself a kill. The teleport followed through from Mylon. They're trying to focus Mylon down, in fact, after TPing in. Gorilla and Prey, they are going to take a turret shot. A second one, and Prey's going to be forced to get out. They almost won. What was a 2v3?
Well, Gorilla was actually minion blocked there, so we couldn't actually escape that, but it was Mylon coming down with the teleport, Smeb not willing to follow that one up, so they do trade 1 for 1. But now KOO Tigers with the TP advantage right when they want to take Dragon.
And you have early AP now on your Mordekaiser. Rylai's first item, we see it almost every single time. I think Prey could easily move these ghosts.
Prey might be in trouble.
Out of power range. He might get killed by Mylon.
Oh, look at that. The Ring of Frost locks him down. Bron passive is going to be up. He has that TP advantage. Prey flashes forward aggressively. Gets some HP back from the Harvester of Sorrows. Mylon's going to trade autos. Gets taken out by Smeb. We do see Dude rocking up. BRTT is going to try to get away with that passive. The Marshall boys. A slam dunk from Smeb. Says you will go home, and KOO Tigers look for the tower as well.
We keep seeing why teams like this Darius pick, because once he gets rolling, he can just get out of control. A massive bruiser with so much damage in the front line.
Well, you know, it's one of those picks that's very polarizing, right? Because we've seen a lot of players try him out, and he really hasn't been that effective. But if you know how to play him aggressively, and you can keep track of your enemy's cooldowns, and I think that's really the most important part of Darius, keeping track of those, and you can really go in and clean up. And there's the Dragon coming out.
And remember, Mordekaiser doesn't have to be close to the Dragon. He can move it across the entire map. He's back at base now, and his Dragon is trying to be annoying near tower and hit Kami in the head a few times to just tank up to let KOO get some damage. So
this is how you use it.
Kami's losing the fight to the Ghost of Dragon Past. He'll get dropped eventually, but forced away. That means there's not going to be a death ray here if KOO wants to keep pushing.
Not the greatest use of the Dragon ever, but after that one fight at the bottom side, transitioning to the Dragon, you'll take it if you're the KOO Tigers. You're expanding your gold lead regardless.
And you go back and you push the bottom lane some more. And now you can see Gorilla and Hojin. They use it to go to get some deep vision. Preferred them to check the small bush and play out the pink, but obviously want to play it a bit safe as well.
Prey is 3 levels up over BRTT right now. In fact, Dude actually has the level advantage over BRTT, so there's really...
Got the grump.
Yeah, there's really nothing...
Going right.
There's not really much he can do against Prey and Gorilla, because if he tries to walk in that lane with no summoners, he's just going to get killed by the Ignite.
Now, this is impressive from KOO Tigers. 11 minutes in, they've got themselves another substantial gold lead. They've got Tower, Dragon, etc. And they're showing off champions that we've not seen previously. KOO Tigers are sending a very big message in a game where they didn't necessarily need to, but they are demonstrating an ability to play champions like Mordekaiser.
Newsflash, they can pick Mordekaiser and do well.
Okay, of course.
But let's remember that Pain Gaming wanted them to pick the Mordekaiser. They banned Yasuo as the last one. Kuro taking a lot of damage though.
It is indeed.
Oh, he gets
Battlefield gets the stun, but the Chaos Storm's already worn out. And Kuro's going to be able to get away. Kami just did not have the AP for that to work.
But again, Pain Gaming said to KOO Tigers, we want you to pick Mordekaiser. We could ban it as the last one because Lulu got banned by KOO Tigers. It could make this a standard. All 3 top tier picks are gone. This strategy against it though, I just do not agree with. Picking a bottom lane that's not going to win against the Mordekaiser 2v2. Obviously the plan was to use the Santos and just camp the bottom lane with TPs over and over and over. But you also gave away Elise. You took the Gragas yourself. Gave away Elise, so there's a stronger early jungle on the side of KOO Tigers, where the composition shines in the early game. So, Pain Gaming is giving away too many good picks for KOO Tigers.
Surti's down. Caught by a cocoon, and it's just coming apart at the seams.
Well, there's a pink ward in the river, so they know it was absolutely free to walk up into that blue buff. They had the timer on it. Now they're really going to be putting the pressure on. Smeb has already pushed out the top lane, so he can just sit here and auto the turret right in mid. That's going to be the mid turret going down in the first tower of the game. And this really just opens up absolutely everything for KOO.
Exceptional play for the KOO Tigers. Their decision making, pressure on the map. Smeb 40 CS up, 60 CS for Prey over BRTT. This early pick, Braum, as Deficio has highlighted many times, simply just not paying off. And for Pain, the only option is now wave clear from Surti and Kami to stall this out. But I feel like Darius and Mordekaiser are just so far ahead, it's highly unlikely.
Double the CS for the Mordekaiser. And Dragon should be up in about 3 minutes of time. He's obviously looking to secure that one. And in a group that a lot of people call the weakest group at the World Championship here, Group A, we're still seeing a KOO Tigers team who are showing that early game for them, they can make great plays. CLG, 2 games in a row, they were so dominating from the start, outplaying mechanically CLG. And to me, that just really shows how good this team can be, because again, they used to fall behind. They used to not doing that well in the early game in Korea. If they fix that, if they can do this against even better teams,
well, that's going to be the true test.
That's going to be the test, right? Getting into the bracket stage.
Well, it's not only that. I mean, we talk about a player like Kuro, and we came into today saying that this guy's a 39 KDA. He's 1 death before dying to Pole Belter in that mid lane in the last game. Was a tower or a fountain dive at the end of the CLG game on Victor. So his individual performance has really stepped up, I think, at this tournament so far. Has he had the toughest opponents? No, that's true, and he's going to need to keep getting better if they want to make a deep run at this event. But it's an encouraging sign for sure.
Yeah, I still think that KOO Tigers are showing that they could be looked at as the 3rd best team right now in this tournament, because LGD has been falling off. KT lost Origin, obviously they are very close between KT and KOO, and Origin up there fighting that 3rd spot.
I wouldn't count EDG.
Bold claim.
EDG is the 2nd, don't worry.
It's 2.
SKT 1, EDG 2. We're talking only the 3rd spot. Only the 3rd spot.
Only the 3rd spot. Well, we'll see more games from each of the respective teams. But yeah, all outer towers have dropped. Dragon's up in now 1 minute. Prey was able to get that ghost. Really shove Kami away from that mid lane. But look, bottom lane shoved up. There is a plethora of wards in Pain Gaming's everywhere. And KOO can just make all of the informed decisions. I mean, Smeb is solo pushing top lane with 0 resistance.
Yep, proxy farming as well. He's getting behind that turret. He's going to get some more gold right before this comes up. Just has a chance to deny some CS and recall very freely. And Hojin just delaying Pain. And you can see they're already have a ring around the dragon. They're trying to deny any kind of vision from Pain going in there. And Smeb just keeps pushing.
Going to get to that inner turret, get some damage on it. And KOO, they're not going to waste time.
Prey's 3 levels above BRTT.
It's been that way this whole game.
Gorilla's a level above BRTT.
Doing it with Mordekaiser.
Here we go. Dragon up in 1. Smeb just sorting him out in the enemy jungle. And 2-man drag. Hojin and Prey going in for that objective.
So KOO set a record for the 2nd highest gold lead at 20 minutes against Counter Logic Gaming earlier today at around 11,000 gold. Presently have just shy of 8,000 gold in the lead. Let's see how many towers can fall if they can get close to that, with Dragon sieging power and Smeb keeping Mylon busy in the top lane. Let's see what Pain can do. They're going to be relying so heavily on Calm again. Not even going to challenge it, in fact.
No, because Pain Gaming knows they can just get killed right here. If they move too close, Leone ultis and the engage is on.
Pretty much have to give it up right now, only taking about 50% of the Ghost Dragon's HP. And Smeb just been pushing up. He's prepped that wave perfectly for a smooth movement up into the top side of the map, and another easy tower. Apprehend the brush.
Just in case, you never know.
You can't take brushes to jail, though.
Well, Smeb wants to try. You see that Dragon getting some damage onto the top inner turret. Sir T, he's decided to engage onto KOO. KOO's killed by BRTT. The Solar Flare comes down and Mylon goes, he throws down the ulti. Glacial Prison, I forgot the name. Manages to survive, gets the heal, and Pain Gaming survive, getting 2 kills.
All right, KOO TIGERS getting a little bit confident, staying very close. A great engage from Sir T to start the fight.
And remember, this may have been a 7,000 gold gap, but KOO has not gone back in a long time, so it was actually much closer in terms of items than we could have seen otherwise. Take a look at this fight again. KOO getting a little bit greedy in the side here. He walks way too far forward. Great flash engage from Sir T.
Then fight is on. Good bait for Mylon as well with the ulti, just in time before he gets stunned. And Gorilla caught under the turret as well. So 2 very important kills for Pain Gaming. They need to keep doing this, so they need to rely on KOO TIGERS to keep being over-aggressive.
And you can see where the risk in running Mordekaiser then lies. Taking towers, even with a substantial gold lead, yes, it hadn't been spent necessarily, but very challenging without that ranged auto-attack champion to take down the tower.
Obviously it becomes harder for Mordekaiser when it comes to these towers, because Dragon, once your team gets more damage, they can take down that Dragon. The same difficulties are not there as in the mid game, but you already got a big enough gold lead. I mean, you've gotten everything you wanted from this Mordekaiser pick already, just by taking that mid tower and winning the bottom lane so hard.
Luden's Echo, second item on Mord. That Mace of Spades is going to hit real hard with all the additional burst and AP.
I'm a bit surprised by that. I thought we'd be seeing, of course, the Twin Ghost. It does make hunting down people significantly easier on Mordekaiser, but he's gone for the big power spike, the big burst damage item instead. I mean, if he can make it work,
why not?
It should be good.
Well, 202, he's got double the CS of his opposite number. And we see Mylon's in trouble. He throws down, won't even get to throw down the Frozen Tomb, which is the correct name of the ultimate. Sir T, explosive cast goes down, but he's cocooned, and it's a double dunk for Smeb and a red buff for KOO.
Smeb has been such a monster on this Darius. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous what he's been able to accomplish both in and out of lane on this champion. No one's been able to kite him effectively. He has no fear about going in to these team fights and just very patiently waiting for when he knows he can make the play.
Those damage percentages that we talked about earlier, Smeb was the #1 damage share rank for his team. That's going to continue to stay the trend after today's 2 games.
He's the highest damage percentage top laner in this tournament so far overall, by like 3% too, so it's quite a bit.
Wow, last effort for Pain. If Baron is secured, it's going to be so difficult to wave clear at this stage. BRTT is way out of position. He will at least interrupt the Baron, so that is the only positive to draw from this play. Mylon expended his teleport as well.
KOO didn't want to risk a smite shield for Sir T and said, you know what, we are so far ahead, we technically don't even need that Baron. Right now, we can wait for next Dragon. But getting it and then splitting up in 3 lanes and just start pushing into the base is going to be the way for KOO TIGERS to just close out this game as fast as possible for them.
Okay.
Especially when we have a split pusher who's already 6-0-0 like this Darius is. He has a Spirit Visage complete. He doesn't really have to worry about Mylon dealing too much damage to him. And with BRTT so far behind and on the Blade of the Ruined King first, basically he's going to go untouched in these team fights, continue to heal himself with the Spirit Visage passive. It should be easy.
Not sure this ping ward can reach all the way in the back. It's honestly a very bad ping ward being placed here because he doesn't see outside the pit around the corner and he doesn't see the back of the pit either. So it's technically the worst place you can put it, but Smeb is here to zone them away.
It's a double bait. They want the fight. KOO are going to lock down Sir T. The Solar Flare comes out and Sir T is killed. Baron secured by KOO TIGERS as it is a complete rout. The ghost of BRTT will chase his own teammate down and KOO TIGERS get 4 kills and a Baron. I think that ward was intentional, Deficio.
No one can kill.
It worked.
no one can kill Smeb in these fights. He just went out solo in the back of the pit right there to zone off the enemy team. Ends up with a triple kill due to the fact that he has these Merc Treads and the Spirit Visage. He's even taken, I mean, he's just lowering the cooldown on his Flash and TP right now with his Enchant. So, very confident about going into these fights.
Why not? I mean, your team have won every single lane in this game. You got, in my opinion, probably the perfect draft of the Mordekaiser as well. Dives, strong top laner, good early jungler, wave clearing mid laner. I mean, everything was there for KOO Tigers. And Pain Gaming, they gave this comp. They could have taken away picks. They could have banned the Mordekaiser. No, Yasuo banned, more important.
Got rid of Yasuo and Ashe.
Ashe I can agree on.
Instead of Mordekaiser. Got a question. What difference would it have made if Prey was on Ashe, landing the crystal arrows instead of the dragon ghosts?
So, Vichu and I were watching some of these VODs last night. Prey's use of Hawkshot is nuts. Like, it's almost perfect in the way that he played the early game against CLG. KOO always knew where everyone was on the map. Xmithie was always being seen. His jungle pathing was very well known by the KOO Tigers. So we can look at his impressive arrows and say, wow, Prey was hitting all those arrows from the top lane, but what's even more impressive is there is almost no way to surprise them when they're playing that Ashe. And I think that went a little bit overlooked.
Yeah, probably could talk about that hawk shot for about 2 hours, I think, at least, because he's so spot on with it. So is this Dragon Call into the base of Pain Gaming.
So middle inhibitor turret was dropped a minute ago. Inhibitor on the bottom lane is down. Inhibitor in the middle lane will follow shortly. The Baron is sitting with KOO Tigers. They have Baron-empowered minions as well. Pain did have a solitary tower kill. If they are unable, well, when Pain Gaming lose this game, they will be out of the 2015 World Championships, and Gorilla's gone in. He manages to stun BRTT, but BRTT managed to flash away. Kuro gets the first kill of the final fight, and Gorilla will lose his life. We just see a Nexus turret falling as Prey continues to throw out the spells. Mylon is going to use the Frozen Tomb as Smeb goes very aggressive. The gravity field is down and Smeb's got a ton of stacks in him. The Rend will not be enough. The Nexus is being focused after 24 minutes. KOO Tigers will be looking to close out two of the shortest games.
I'm not sure they can.
And they will be forced away for the time being. Deficio, there are super minions on the way in, and KOO are playing real confident. 24.5 minutes, look at this. Baron-empowered minions still coming in. And we see Kuro, he finds himself a kill onto Mylon. The repel back from Hojin keeps him alive. The Nexus is being focused, and KOO Tigers have punched their ticket to the quarterfinals in London.
Another impressive performance by KOO. After that loss to Flash Wolves, they come back. They have 3 incredibly decisive games, back to back to back, and they just look just insanely strong. That one loss, I think, really galvanized their performance, helped them